Imagine a time where everything went right. You met and exceeded your standard. You checked all of your boxes, and you worked as hard as you possibly could. Many people think that perfectionism is just some quirky personality trait. But what if it's more? What if perfectionism is actually a vicious cycle that impacts not only your body, but also your mind? According to the Journal of Affective Disorders, perfectionism is a personality trait characterized through an intense drive to achieve flawlessness, setting excessively high, often unattainable standards, and engaging in harsh self-criticism. You know, growing up, I've always struggled with my time management due to my perfectionistic attitude. Many times, because I was so focused on one thing, I would stay up late into the night or not eat as much as I was supposed to. As a result, because I was so sleep deprived, I often looked like this, and even that in school. Eventually, this started impacting my body. I started to feel a persistent ache in my shoulders, an inability to think straight, and a horrible stomach pain that had manifested itself into a lifelong gastrointestinal issue. Now, at the age of 17, I'm forced to take medication every day because my perfectionism became more than my body could handle. In fact, according to Vital & Company, 93% of people struggle with perfectionism, showing just how widespread this issue truly is. The thing with perfectionism is that the stress from it doesn't just impact one system in your body. Rather, it impacts the way many of them work together. This matters because it often offsets your state of homeostasis, or the ability to maintain internal stability despite external stressors. You could think of homeostasis kind of like a balance. If one parameter goes off the rails, your body does everything it can to make everything level and normal again. Now, raise your hand if you've ever heard of the term fight or flight before. Okay, I'm seeing a few hands. So what if I told you the term fight or flight directly meant your sympathetic nervous system? Now, what does your sympathetic nervous system do, you might ask? Well, it's in charge of raising your heart rate, providing extra energy to your muscles, and if you're a student like me, it makes you want to check your grades every 5 seconds. Now, I'm going to talk about the sympathetic nervous system's counterpart, the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system helps you to rest and digest. It helps you do things such as get a good night's sleep and overall ensures everything in your body is working as normal. The true issue arises when your fight or flight response is working overtime, not giving you enough time to rest or digest. This often leads to issues like worsened sleep, increased blood pressure, and weakened immunity. Over time, these factors can blend together and lead to worsened quality of life, possibly even causing mental health disorders. According to the American Psychological Association, perfectionism is a public health risk. It's associated with increased depression and anxiety. Now, when you think of someone that's depressed or anxious, they may be feeling things like lowered self-esteem, impacted confidence, and ongoing frustration. Many times, these feelings are a direct result of a vicious cycle. That vicious cycle often starts off with a fear of making mistakes. That fear of making mistakes leads to increased pressure on a person. That pressure leads to distress, and that distress is interpreted as personal failure. It's no secret that perfectionism is this horrible cycle that impacts not only your mind, but also your body. And although it's not really possible to get rid of perfectionism overnight, there are a few things that you can do to help you become less stressed. One example is the 4-7-8 technique. With this technique, you breathe through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale through your mouth for 8 counts. What this technique does is it tells your body to relax a little bit, activating your rest and digest response. This next technique I'm going to share with you is something that everyone has heard of, and also a perfectionist's worst nightmare. Take a break. Taking a break can include things like listening to music, going on a walk with a friend, or anything that makes you feel rested and energized. You know, at one point, I used to think that taking breaks didn't make a difference at all. Then I realized staring at the same sentence for 40 minutes wasn't exactly productive either. Ultimately, perfectionism is rarely worth the mental strain it causes. No grade, performance, or achievement is worth the cost of your well-being. So now, I want you guys to go back to the time when everything went right. You met and exceeded your standard. You checked all of your boxes, and you worked as hard as you possibly could. Maybe you even felt perfect. But ask yourself this: did it truly make you happy? Or did it just raise the bar higher for next time? That is the danger of perfectionism. Perfectionism is the only race where you cross the finish line, you actually get pushed farther back. As people, we were never meant to live in this constant state of fight and flight. We're meant to learn, to grow, to make mistakes sometimes. Because in the end, perfection doesn't create happiness. Balance does. And when we allow ourselves to be imperfect, we don't just succeed, we thrive.